It's Monday morning and I'm feeling pretty energetic today. Look at this beautiful sun, this gorgeous sunrise. It's 9 a.m. My class starts at 9:15. So I'm heading into the YMCA and we're gonna get in that sculpt workout. Hope you guys are feeling good. You're maybe prepared for Christmas. You got all your gifts bought. You're ready to spend time with your family, whatever that looks like, however you celebrate. And I know the YMCA folks, man, these classes are probably gonna be crowded this week. It always seems to get kind of crowded around the holidays. Yeah, maybe I'll give you guys a little glimpse of the workout this morning. I have a feeling there'll be a good group of people. It's very brisk, it's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So kind of wishing that I was in Cambodia right now. All right, I'll see you in a minute. So yeah, just a set of heavy weights and a mat. My name is Julia and this is Sculpt, so just to make sure you're in the right class. I could share some snippets of class with you. Look at what my client Sharon made me. She made me homemade granola. It's these little acts that just mean everything to me. So, yay, feeling the Christmas spirit. Hello guys and welcome back to a painter's vlog. Today I'm going to switch gears a little bit and do something a little bit out of the ordinary for me. I came across this video on YouTube, let's see, when was this released actually? This was actually released on August 17th, 2021, but it came up in my recommended videos on YouTube yesterday, so I thought that I would dive in and give it a review. So the title of the video is called The Most Famous Painters Today, and I'm looking down because I have my computer in front of me. It's called The Most Famous Painters Today, a reasoned top 20 using objective career facts. Because there's 20 most famous painters in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and be speedy about this and go as quick as possible. The video itself, as it stands, has 264,229 views, and it was released by Contemporary Art Issue. I guess they're just using objective career facts, probably examining the amount of money these artists make, maybe how much they're talked about, etc., etc. So I thought it'd be fun to go through and just kind of give my opinion on the artists that they're talking about, and I don't know, just kind of have fun with it and see exactly who these most famous painters are. So just a little background on me. My name is Julia. I am an oil painter and I have been painting for over 15 years. So I've been in the field for a long time. I've taken art history. I am very familiar with artists and art history and etc., etc. I'm also involved in the art world. So that's my background. That's where I'm coming from. I'm by no means deemed one of the most famous painters of today, but I do have intention to be highly regarded, and I feel like I already am reasonably high regarded in the art realm. So let's go ahead and dive in and let's see what they say.
Welcome to Contemporary Art Issue for an article-based video on the most famous painters today. Based upon objective data, career facts and the art facts algorithm.
I don't know what the art facts algorithm is, but
we are pleased to present you a reasoned selection of the most influential contemporary painters today. Number 20. We start our list with Laiko Ikamura. Born in 1951 in Tsu, Japan,
Laiko Ikamura, number 20. I haven't heard of Laiko, but she's probably super famous. I'm just gonna go ahead and quick Google some of her images here. So Laiko Ikamura is a Japanese Swiss painter. Let's check out some of her images. These are quite beautiful. They're very soft and palette. It's nice that they're starting out with a woman. I appreciate that. Not to, you know, sideline a woman or anything. I'm not wholly impressed. Again, this is an opinion video, so I'm super sorry if you're offended by whatever I have to say. I just haven't heard of Laiko Ikamura, so moving on.
Number 19. Although being one of the main representatives of art povera and conceptual art, Michelangelo Pistoletto is best known as a painter.
Michelangelo Pistoletto, also haven't heard. Not off to a good start here. Like I said, don't get pissed off at me just because I haven't heard of some of these artists. I can't freaking keep track of all the artists in the world today, okay? Even though these are supposedly the most famous artists. Michelangelo Pistoletto, it looks like he's got some really cool installations here of clothing, as well as it looks like marble sculptures I'm seeing. So those look kind of interesting.
From his painterly practice, Pistoletto incorporates silkscreen images on top of his reflective surfaces and paintings. Number 18. Hermann Nitsch, born in 1938 in Vienna, Austria.
Hermann Nitsch, also haven't heard of Hermann Nitsch.
His works are referred to as the Orgen Mysterian Theatre, a ritualistic practice marked by sacrifice, blood, animal entrails, and nudity.
Animal entrails, blood, and nudity. Okay, reminds me a little bit of Andre Serrano's controversial Piss Christ, so using blood and bodily fluids and different things like that. Looks a little bit bloody, definitely religious, not into it.
Number 7.
Moving on.
Marlene Dumas.
Marlene Dumas, yes, Marlene Dumas, love. Okay, she's not one of my favorites, but not to say that I don't absolutely admire and respect her. She does a lot of figurative work of like faces. They're very gesturally done. The color use is really interesting. I think one of the more famous examples would be this one. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the screen here. I'm not sure of the name of this, but yeah, really into her work. Pretty cool. All right, moving on.
Number 16. Born in 1941 in Liberich, formerly Reichenberg, Markus Lupertz lives and works in Dusseldorf and Karlsruhe, Germany.
Okay, Markus Lupertz. Again, no idea. Who is this?
Alongside the likes of Baselitz, Penck and Amendorf, Lupertz became one of the most important figures for German post-war art in the 1960s.
Okay. Markus Lupertz. Why have I not heard of any of these artists? How are these the most famous artists in the world right now? What's happening here? Again, gestural, what did they say, post-war German? Color use is decent. I don't know, I'm not feeling the vibe. Almost has like a futurist vibe to it. Don't mind my neighbors. Frank Stella, finally an artist I can get on board with. I don't really need to say much more about Frank Stella other than that he is a true pioneer. He uses a lot of geometry in his work, a lot of color, and I've heard that he's just a really cool guy. One of the things I liked about Stella was how he really pushed boundaries, but he actually kept himself contained in some senses. He was working with geometry, he was working a lot with the straight line and circles and stuff like that. But he also broke boundaries by creating canvases that were not in a traditional rectangle or square shape. And I don't know, I mean, I really like artists that push boundaries. Albert Ullin, who the hell is that? Moving on. Do you guys know who Albert Ullin is?
In an ongoing quest for new
Look, I'm not putting these artists down, I just don't know who the hell this is.
The German artist
not into it.
Deconstruct the media, investigating painting's most essential aspects such as color. The brush stroke is a gesture.
I don't like it. I don't like him. Richard Prince. Okay, this guy right here, Richard Prince. He's a jokester, man. I like Richard Prince because I think he has a really unique sense of humor. So the one project that I think that Richard Prince is really well known for, that a lot of people might know his work from, is when he actually took people's Instagram photos and presented it as his own work, which brought forth a conversation about social media and copyright and where do the lines blur with regard to, you know, who is a real artist. Richard Prince deserves a place on this list, and a lot of people might not think so, but he brought forth an interesting conversation. I mean, that's just one of the main, you know, pieces that I remember that he did. One of the main projects that he did. Very memorable, very good. I'm not getting into all the nuances of like what these artists are doing, okay? I'm just going with a quick fire response, all right? Don't come for me in the comments.
Number 12. Jasper Johns, born in 1930 in Augusta, the United States of America, is an American artist living and working in Sharon, Connecticut.
Jasper Johns. Not much more needs to be said for Jasper Johns. I think one of his most well-known works would be the American flag. I don't know, he's iconic. Sean Scully. I know of Sean Scully, his works aren't really some of my favorite. What I do like about his work is I think it's really cool when an artist takes one simple or seemingly simple technique and centers their entire career around it, and that's something that Sean Scully has done. Using these shapes with different colors, and I don't know. It's not really my favorite though. Moving on.
Number 10. We enter the top 10 of our list with Anselm Kiefer. Born in 1945 in Donaueschingen, the German artist currently resides and works in Paris, France.
Anselm Kiefer deserves to be on the list. Amy Noble, never heard of him. Alex Katz, yes. I love cats. I love cats. And in this video, they're like, yes, unique approach to figurative work. Awesome. He painted the people around him. I love his use of color. I went to a cats exhibit in New York. Can't quite remember the gallery. Actually, I've gone to a few in New York, but I really like his transition from painting into sculpture and how they play with each other. Who doesn't like Alex Katz? Alex Katz is 94 years old. Alex Katz deserves to be on this list. He's freaking amazing. Moving on. Okay, so the next one is Heimo Zobernig. Never heard of him. Don't like him. Moving on. David Hockney. Yes, 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 yes. 5,000 times yes. I actually got a chance to meet David Hockney a couple of years ago. David Hockney is one of those artists that comes along once every 1,000 years or something, that he just is a true artist. And I say this because David Hockney is always working. He's always pushing paint. And I remember reading about this one stand of trees, or this one particular area on his land. I think he lives in England, but there was a stand of trees, and he would go out into that particular area and just repaint it over and over and over again. And let me tell you, every time it would be different. The color use, the shadows, the way the light hit the leaves. And I also like that even into his old age, let's see, how old is David Hockney now? So David Hockney is 84 years old. So, oh my gosh, I thought he was older than that. But yeah, he's just always been iconic, from his works in the 50s and 60s, like with the pool and the collector, and I'll go ahead and put those on the screen. But he's just been cranking it out, and they've all been good. I mean, maybe all of his works haven't been perfect, but they generally have been great. And another thing I really like about him is he started drawing with the tablet, and so really employing new techniques that are offered to us. And I think that being an artist, you should always be open and maybe receptive to exploring new mediums, even if it's outside of your comfort zone. So David Hockney, shoe in, nothing more needs to be said. Next one, Arnulf Reiner, haven't heard. I'm kind of embarrassed, I'm sorry. Maybe this experiment isn't turning out quite as I thought. So I'm looking up his work right now. Figurative. It looks like there's a lot of scratching out of the face. So it seems like there's almost like there's a definite darker energy there. Kind of toying with the idea of face manipulation. I kind of dig it. It looks a little bit darker, like maybe some people wouldn't really like that vibe. Some of the works look rather tormented. Haven't heard of him, but interesting. William Kentridge.
However.
Okay. Another one of those artists that, I mean, nearly brings tears to my eyes just bringing up his name. William Kentridge is phenomenal and 1000% deserves to be on this list. Maybe he more so speaks to my emotional language because his works are very, very poetic, very poetic. He's from South Africa, but he's another one of those artists that really goes across several medium forms. I remember seeing one of his animations at the museum in Chicago, the Museum of Contemporary Art. And it was extremely moving. Often he just works in black and white. He might even actually just solely work in black and white, graphite or black and white paint. Even his animations are drawn in black and white. So I'm not sure if he actually even works in color, but again, I really like that when an artist channels in with something seemingly simple or reductive, like he's just reducing his color choices and then pushes the boundaries on that. William Kentridge is iconic and definitely belongs in this list. So now we're coming down to the top 3.
We enter the current top 3 of the most important living painters today, with Ruscha taking the bronze medal. Born in 1937 in Omaha, Ruscha is an American painter living and working in Culver City.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say Ruscha belongs on the list. Again, he did something, he was kind of a pioneer with what he was doing. He added text into his works. I remember one of his most famous paintings. What was it, like the gas station? I'm gonna look this up real quick. Which one was that? Oh yeah, the Standard gas station. I remember studying that in college. I really like the poppy, printy, you know, vibe that he has. And he also really started working with text in his works, which is pretty cool. A lot of people weren't really doing that in that period. I think he deserves to be on that list. Let's check out the top 2.
In second place, we have the illustrious career of George Baselitz.
Bro, I'm about to have a fit. They put George Baselitz in slot number 2. I have a few words about Baselitz. First of all, I can't remember what year it was. This might have been 2011. He stated in Der Spiegel magazine that women were not good painters. Or that women can't paint. Yes, that came out of his mouth. So, Let me go ahead and look at his recent paintings and we'll see. I mean, I don't know if he changed his tune. You know, as far as I know, that statement wasn't really taken out of context. He's showing with Gagosian. He paints portraits and puts them upside down. Nothing terribly unique about that to me. Oh, it's hard for me as an artist to separate the person and their demeanor and what they stand for with their art. You know what I mean? So like, I can't really look at his art as objectively as I feel like maybe I could have. Looks like he's kind of painting a little bit like de Kooning, you know, kind of that pushing the paint around a little bit darker. I don't like him. Moving on. I really don't think that he should be on this list because he's just one of those people propagating sexism. And this art world is already so divided. Don't like it.
Number 1. At the very top of our list, the most famous living painter today is Gerhard Richter. Born in 1932 in Dresden, Richter currently lives and works in Cologne, Germany.
Okay, so they're listing Gerhard Richter as the most famous painter today. They're probably looking at his numbers, what he's selling at an auction, and of course, Richter's been around for a long time. How old is Richter right now? Richter is 89.
Richter achieved international recognition in the 19th.
You know, one of my favorite paintings was actually done by Richter, and I'll put it on the screen here. It's a very simple painting of a candle. I just love this painting. What album cover did he do? Who was that? Sonic Youth. Yeah, I knew he did that, and I think it was the candle painting. Anyway, yeah, I think that he definitely deserves to be on this list. I know that this list was probably determined by several aspects of data, maybe like what they're selling at an auction and this and that and this and that, but let me go ahead and calculate a little bit of data real quick for you, okay? One moment, caller. So the cops just showed up. They're outside right now. There were some disturbances upstairs because the couple upstairs are always fighting. So it's not that fun to be around, you know, domestic violence, obviously. Out of the top 20 listed, I have to point this out because it needs to be pointed out. And I just got chills because like this is just what we've been dealing with, especially as women in the art world, and then we'll branch out further from that. But there are 2 out of the 20 on this list that are female, or that identify as female artists to my knowledge. Marlene Dumas and Laiko Ikamura. I've never seen that person before. There was a young girl that just walked out from upstairs. All I know is that the woman upstairs has installed 2 cameras on the front of the house, one pointing that way and then one pointing that way, so she won't miss anything that happens. Okay, focus. There are 2 women on the list. This is a problem. This is a huge problem. Of course, there have always been women painters, but it was only male painters that were recognized as famous, and you know, their works were purchased in the field, and women in large part were very suppressed with their voice. We all know this. We all know this, that you go into any given gallery. Start paying attention when you go out to galleries and museums now. Just look around you. Now, let's go ahead and look at the images of these artists as they're listed out, okay? Boom. I don't think that any of these artists are of color. Now, they are from different areas around the world, okay? So I really do appreciate that. There's a lot of German on here, so I'm wondering if this magazine is geared toward Germany or something like that. We have William Kentridge from South Africa, which is beautiful. In my opinion, I think William Kentridge is my favorite artist on this list, aside of David Hockney. And I'm sorry that they're both men, but I think that there's other women that clearly deserve to be on the list. But again, I think that they were analyzing the reality of what's going on out there. So it's not really the fault of this YouTube channel, Contemporary Art Issue. It seems to me like they were using objective career facts, and this is extremely problematic for me and for the entire world. In this list, 10% of them are women. Come on. I don't know if it's a good thing that the Contemporary Art Issue released this, because what good is this? You know, I mean, we're not giving other artists, I mean, this channel's got to be good. They have like 13,000 subscribers. It does look like they're covering a lot of other artists. They covered Yayoi Kusama 3 weeks ago. You know, it seems like Yayoi Kusama would be on this list. You know, hello, Pioneer. Alice Neal. But again, I think that the problem that this list highlights is that, you know, women just aren't being represented as much as men in the art world still to this day. And maybe they're getting more representation now, which is fantastic, but they're not getting the same numbers as men at auction, and neither are artists of color. That's just the hard, cruel fact of what's going on in the art world and what's been going on for centuries. And, you know, as a woman, I feel it. And that's, you know, I went through this art list like completely just like, hey, let's go along together. I'm sorry that I didn't know some of the artists. You know, that was a little bit embarrassing. But again, it's always a good learning experience to kind of check out these things and just see what's going on. But so let's just keep working to combat that. What is going on up there? We need to protect women. Well, hope you guys had a little bit of fun, you know, even though it's not the most uplifting video. It's just, you know, this is the hard, cruel fact of being a female artist in a male-dominated artistic world. So I'm super glad and super thankful to see that a lot of artists from around the world of color, of different genders, queer, and, you know, women are finally getting a little bit more of play. So that's awesome. But I can't wait until we live in a world where all this shit just doesn't matter and women can make as much money as men and we don't have to continuously shatter the glass ceiling. Anyway, you guys, have a beautiful Vlogmas. I'm gonna take the rest of the day to edit this video and maybe work on my rug. It's actually Blair's last day here until he heads upstate New York for the holidays. So we're gonna have a nice relaxing night. We're gonna order our favorite local Chinese food and just relax. I hope you guys got all of your Christmas shopping done. I don't know why I'm tearing up right now. I'm just so excited to spend the holidays with my family. Like, last year was awesome. I was with Lucy, like one of my good friends, Lucy, but I'm just so excited to spend the holidays with family this year because we didn't get that time last year. You know, we had a very late Christmas in April, but it was just tough not being with family, you know, so I'm soaking in every moment that I have with my family living here in Kalamazoo, Michigan for a brief period, and I don't take it for granted. So with that being said, I hope you guys got your holiday shopping done and you're feeling good and protected and supported and happy going into the holidays. So I will see you guys in the next one. All right, so there go the cops. Damn. Oh my God, there was 3 cops here. Hey, look, I'm just glad the neighbors are still alive, all right?